Will orange be the new black for Kathleen Wynne and company? I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. Charges laid in the Sudbury by-election bribery scandal. Yes, finally, the OPP was able to find prosecutors to lay charges. Now, they're not criminal code charges. These are Elections Act charges, a little less serious. You'll remember that Jerry Lougheed, the Sudbury Liberal kingmaker, had already been facing criminal code charges related to accusations that he and Pat Sorbara had offered a bribe or an inducement to get Andrew Olivier to step down as the Liberal candidate in favor of Glenn Thibeault. Those charges were stayed. Now we've got new charges under the Elections Act, and Pat Sorbara has had to step aside as the CEO of the Liberal Party of Ontario and step down as their campaign director for the 2018 election. Why? Well, you've heard the tapes before, but it's worth playing them again. First, Jerry Lougheed approaching Andrew Olivier, who had been the 2014 general election Liberal candidate. Now, Olivier is a quadriplegic, so he records his conversations. It's his way of taking notes. This is something that Lougheed and Sorbara both knew, and yet Lougheed walks in and just says right up front, step aside, we'll get you a job.
I come to you on behalf of the Premier and on behalf of, Thibeault, or indirectly, to ask you if you would consider stepping down, even more than that, Andrew, nominating him. In the course of that deliberation, the Premier wants to talk to you. They would like to present to you options in terms of appointments, jobs, whatever, that you and her and Pat Sorbara can talk about.
Now, Lougheed said you'll have to talk to Pat Sorbara about this. Pat Sorbara was Wynne's deputy chief of staff. Pat Sorbara did call, and she made it very clear she was offering him a job, essentially saying, what kind of job do you want? We'll get it for you.
We don't have to decide overnight, right? There's lots of options that we can sit down and talk about. I mean, we're all going to be up in Sudbury many times. We can sit down and, talk that through and we should have the broader discussion about what is it that you'd be most interested in doing, and then decide what shape that could take that would fulfill that, is what I'm getting at, whether it's a full-time or part-time job in a consist office, whether it is appointments to boards or commissions, whether it is also going on the exec direct. There's lots of, but we would just need to better understand, what is it that you most want to do.
Sorbara says she has not done anything wrong. I think that the audio evidence points in a different direction, so do prosecutors, obviously. Her lawyers say that they're going to fight this. Lougheed's lawyer says he will fight this to the end. They're claiming that these charges are being used in a manner never used before. We'll wait and see. I'll tell you why this is important, because this could drag out for some time. Immediately, you've got the Ottawa-Vanier by-election. There's another one down in the Niagara region that the Conservatives are most likely going to win. But now the PCs think they have a shot at taking a seat away from the Ontario Liberals. It's a seat that hasn't voted for a PC candidate since the late 1960s, when John Robarts was Premier of the province. In my lifetime, they've never voted for a PC candidate. But Andre Marin thinks this is his shot. Couple of points there. One, it isn't unfeasible. Madeleine Mayer, the former cabinet minister, won with about 50% of the vote in the last election, but she's gone now. Marin's facing off against another University of Ottawa professor, but he's known as the scrappy guy that stands up for the little one due to his time as an ombudsman. So Marin thinks that this, combined with his reputation, will give him a shot. If that happens, we can expect Kathleen Wynne to be ushered out of the leadership of the Ontario Liberal Party. Already losing in Scarborough-Rouge River, if they lose Ottawa-Vanier, there will be a push from within to get her out. Even if there isn't a push to get her out, if they somehow are able to convince the voters of Ottawa-Vanier that soaring hydro prices and bribery charges are nothing to be worried about, then they're still in trouble. Why? Because Pat Sorbara won't be working directly on the Liberal re-election campaign for 2018. Along with Tim Murphy, longtime Liberal insider going back to David Peterson's time in Queen's Park, back to Paul Martin's time in the Prime Minister's office, and David Hurley. These are the trio that were responsible for 2014. They were the trio that were supposed to run 2018. And now 1/3 is out of the picture. Do they have somebody to replace her? Likely not with the skill set of someone like Pat Sorbara. So this puts the Liberals at a disadvantage. This will likely drag out, along with the email scandal trial that's set to start next year, well into the next election. This is going to be an election coming up about corruption, and we've got a face for that corruption sitting right next to the Premier for the last several years. Hey, if you like what you just watched, make sure you never miss another Rebel video again. Click subscribe or head on over to the rebel.media, become a member, access premium content you won't get anywhere else.